When it's all said and done, what do you want to be remembered by when you leave this earth?
It's kind of it's kind of selfish. Like I kind of just want to create because I know that I'm gonna die. Like what's the point of making what's the point of creating boundaries and being somebody that you don't want to be? Like might as well be who you want to be, and by doing that I feel like you'll naturally leave some footprint. But like I said, like nobody's gonna really care. That's kind of why I've became more of an artist too, because I realized, wait, nobody even cares. Like I can be whoever I want. They're gonna maybe judge you, but like who cares? You're gonna die. Like we're all gonna die. Like might as well be who you want to be today because we're all gonna die. Like and maybe that's come by like past experience, but I just know like what's the what's the worst that can happen if you become yourself? Like might as well be who you or try and be who you want to be and do it like with 100% effort to be who you want to be, because if you don't, you're going to be at the end of your life and be like, damn, I didn't do it. And like we only have this life, so it doesn't really make sense. Well, to me right now, I think, or what makes sense right now is we only have this one life. So it doesn't make sense to not be who you don't want to be if you have one life. It's like saying like you have one canvas, and like you have to stay in the lines and do whatever you want.
Mm.
Or you can do whatever you want on this canvas and you can make it as cool as you want. You can try different things, you can try different colors. Like that's kind of how I see my life. And like even if shit goes to the like even if everything goes to shit, like it doesn't matter. Like
Mm.
I'm trying to be who I want to be. Like only life. This is the only life. Gonna die.
Yep. What's up, y'all? We're back at it again. This is Around Our Hype, the art of creating yourself. I'm Ron. You know what this is, the place where artists and creatives alike can share their perspectives on how they create the work that they make. I'm here with a different type of artist today. Usually we have some sort of artist who creates music or whatnot or is in some sort of music scene. Today, not so much. We have someone who actually creates a different type of art. So allow me to reintroduce himself. This is Menji, right? So here at the Art of Creating Yourself, we like to let the guests give their full introduction. So tell us your name, the city you're from, and the crafts that you are here to share with us today.
Cool. Well, my name's Menji. I'm from the East Bay, originally Concord, but I moved around a lot. So I think I claim probably Pleasant Hill a lot more because that's where I chose, or that's where I spent most of my childhood. So that's where all my memories were built. Um, I'm an artist, 2D artist. Sometimes I make 3D art, but uh, for the most part, I'm a 2D artist.
2D artist. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, since we got you here, right, and this whole NFT space thing is blowing up and cryptocurrency and whatnot, I know
Hmm.
that a lot of your art is being transferred to NFTs, and a lot of your style is being transferred to NFTs. So, how did you initially create your like art style, and where did it come from?
I think it's my art's basically something that's been built over time.
Hmm.
My whole life, I've been creating art. I think it started when I was small.
Hmm.
I used to go to um, my dad's work, and it was a parking garage, and he was like the parking attendant, and he was taking care of me when I was there, and I was a little kid, so I was to spend time. He just make me draw stuff. So he draw he draw like a car,
Hmm.
but then I don't know, I never really liked how he did it. So I draw over his stuff, and like make it cooler. So he'd make a regular car, but I put spoilers on it. I put rims on it. I put flames on it. I always did like something a little extra.
Yeah.
But then yeah, that's where like the foundation began, just of me getting into art within itself. And then when I went to school, I always took art classes, and those are probably the classes I enjoyed the most
Mhm.
because it didn't feel like school. It just felt like art. So and and the art teachers like me the most because I do something kind of different.
Mhm.
Like my ceramics class, I know we had to do like this pottery thing, and it was building lines on top of a pot. But I was like, the lines are boring. I want to make them a little wavy.
Mhm.
So then I made them wavy, and then uh, the teacher came up. She was like, "What the hell are you doing? You're not supposed to be making it like that." And I was like, "Yeah, it's okay, it's okay." And then at the end, after she finished it, she was like, "Wow, this is pretty cool." And then that's the piece that like made me win the ceramics thing at my school. It was just that's like another thing. Uh, I've always been exploring with art. Um, after school, it was more like in my sketchbook. So I just draw like in my free time. And then I got into 3D art because I wanted to get into that too. So I don't know. I've kind of just been doing whatever feels natural to me
Hmm.
my whole life when it comes to art, and it just so happens that my art right now reflects all the past things I've done.
Hmm. Okay. So you started real young and then formed your art style over time, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
And how did your art transfer to 2D art to 3D art to now the marketplace?
back to 2D.
Yeah, the marketplace that is the 2D art style and the 2D art marketplace of NFTs.
Uh, okay, so for I guess since it started as 2D,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I want to do a little something different. So, because I've always liked having like a clear head.
Mm-hmm.
So when I did 2D art, I noticed that when I did the 2D art, I was in a kind of like in a weird mental space where I just like get completely lost in the art. And that's beautiful. Like I love it. But just wanted something to kind of challenge me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I went to the 3D art, and that's when I started exploring with that, because with that I had to actually watch YouTube videos. I had to sit through a video for a long time and actually like um, build my build my endurance when it comes to just learning, because I want to get things done like pretty quickly when it comes to I don't know. I'm just like quick to just do whatever,
Yeah.
you know. But when it came to 3D art, that's when I was like, all right, it it made me a little more disciplined. And then I stopped doing 2D art because I got an iPad,
Okay.
or I stopped doing 3D art
Okay.
because I got an iPad.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've always done 2D art. Like even when I was doing the 3D art, it was just for experimentation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it wasn't something I had planned on for the future. No, nothing was really what I had planned on. It was all just came naturally. And then when I got that iPad, I was like, whoa! It just opened a whole new
Game
realm
changer.
to me. Like I had so many colors in one place. Like I used to carry around, like in my backpack, I used to carry around a whole packet of markers.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I got my iPad, I was like, holy, it's all in here. Like I can do everything I want. And then like for the NFT space, bringing it into the NFT space, uh, I think I was already into NFTs because um, it's probably I probably watched some crypto YouTube video, and like they were talking about NFTs, and NFTs just became interesting to me because I was already into art. Like I already liked art, so just like being in that space seemed pretty natural.
Mm.
So I was like, I want to create. Like, why not? I'm an artist too.
Do you think being from the Bay and being from like East Bay specifically, and like the culture and environment that is just natural to the Bay, do you think that has any like influence on your art style?
I think so. I think like a lot of things, it probably has. Um, like I think my life is kind of like a canvas, and if like the Bay Area's a few bristles,
Mm.
splashes, or whatever, like a few like for of the paint.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that go into my art, like being from here, like the music I listen to. Because I used to, as a kid, I used to go to the Mission District every Friday with my dad to go eat pupusas,
Mm.
and then because I'm Salvadorian,
Okay.
so I'm Salvadorian and Thai.
Oh, okay.
So my dad would take me to this Salvadorian restaurant in the Mission, and then after that we walk around, and we'd always see like different murals, and he'd point out different ones to me, and I'd be like, oh, those are cool, yada yada. I don't know. I was a little kid, so
Yeah.
I was probably that probably shapes like some of my art,
Mm.
but like being probably being from here, it's a lot of things like the culture. Um, I've been to a few sideshows, so like I don't know if you noticed, but in some of my like latest drawings, I have like I have like swirls, and like to me, I know to nobody, that's not the first thing they think of, but like the swirls thinks of me. I think of like the tires
Mm.
of like the end result of when somebody's doing donuts.
The-
So it does have a good a good mark on my art.
Definitely an influence of just being from the Bay and specifically being
Hmm.
you from the Bay, the part. I get it.
Yeah.
So now we're going to talk about kind of like the creative and like artistic mentality that comes from behind the creative process. And I've seen some of the collaborations you've done with different NFTs that are not from your project
Hmm.
specifically. How important do you think collabing with different artists and different art style is to your artistic process?
I think it's pretty important. Like doing different things like that, those derivatives,
Exactly.
like it's pretty fun. Like to me, it comes naturally again. But like just doing it to me, I think when I do derivatives, it's like, well, I can just give people my art for free with their NFT, and I think that's like the thing I love about it. Like everybody can have my art. If I were to call the shots, I'd be like, yo, everybody have my art, yada yada. Everybody have
You
it for
get
free.
NFT. You get NFT.
Yeah, like it's me doing a collab
Mhm.
or a custom piece is pretty cool because it's on somebody's camera roll, some random person's camera roll,
Shut
and
up.
it's pretty cool. Like it's it's kind of I don't really think of it as like a collaboration thing. I kind of just think of it as giving back and just having my mark on the space.
Mm. On one specific person's NFT rather than one specific
Yeah,
art
because
style,
yeah,
right?
that's another thing I realize. It's like it's pretty personal too.
100%.
Like people love it, like people spend a lot of money on those NFTs. NFTs are not expensive. So when somebody does something for free for them and makes their NFT look way cooler, or not way cooler, but
I took your
makes it look
NFT
a
and I
little
made that
different.
shit look dope.
It's
No, I'm joking. Yeah.
yeah, they make it look different from what they're used to looking at,
Mm-hmm.
because I've had the same NFT and it's like, oh, it's still cool to me.
Mm-hmm.
But say you saw this NFT for you've been looking at your same NFT for a month, you're like, it's looking kind of boring. And
Yep.
if if you get the chance to talk to me and I get the chance to like draw over it, people are like, oh wow, something different.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's dope.
I love doing stuff for people.
I like that a lot. Yeah. So yeah, if I get to take the NFT and like make it cooler, no, I get what you meant by that. Like
Yeah.
you just add a little something that because like you
Yeah.
said, if you stare at something long enough, eventually like the newness starts to wear off. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh okay,
Yeah,
like, this is still really cool, but like it was a lot
Mhm.
cooler the first time I seen it, and the second time, and the third time,
Yeah.
and then
And it's a whole cycle. Like even if I were to draw over it, You know, a
Mhm.
month later, you're gonna be like, this Menji piece sucks, dude. Like, I'm tired of
And
it.
then a month
You
happens,
know,
and then they wear
that's
off, right? And then you gotta get a new
yeah,
artist to come back and try to, and it's just
is that's just what happens, dude. And that's why I kind of created the create or die.
mm,
Like, you either create or you die. Like, I don't want to I don't want to stop, because if you stop, it just gets old and boring.
yep.
You just decay.
Create or die, create or die. On that note, I was
Yep.
writing down my 2022 goals the other day, and I was like, I like to start with like foundational mentalities, right? So the first one I had, I like to think of goals in life kind of like a marathon, right? Where I run a bunch of little races, but every time, the way I think about it, actually, I'm like, anytime I get into something, I want to get into it for like the long haul, right? So slow and steady. And then the second one, I was like, I don't know if anybody like follows basketball, but like PPG, right? Like points per game, like numbers on the board. I got to get my numbers up. To
Yep.
me, that means I got to
Mm-hmm.
plan, I got to be patient, and I got to write down goals. And then the last one I was thinking of, I was like, you know what? I really like I really like this phrase, create or die. Like this man got me hooked on this phrase, right? But to me it means like you either influence this world or become influenced by it, right? Like you
Yep.
either sit there and become a consumer or you become a creator. Is that kind of what it
Exactly.
means to you?
Well, you see how you created your own definition?
Mm,
Like, that's what I want. That's literally what I want. Create or die. Like, I don't like art subjective. That create or die subjective. Like, it whatever it means to you, great. Like, it doesn't really matter what it means to me. Like, if it does something for you, then great. Like, I love how you just said that that's the way that's how it means to you. Like, that's what I want it to be, you know? I don't really want it to be in a box. Of course I have the
yeah.
description, but it's like whatever you want it to be. And for all those paintings too.
mm,
Like, I had no idea what the hell I was doing when I was drawing those, but it just came naturally. And like, going back to the name, like, it's subjective, with like the art too, subjective. It doesn't really matter what I think.
because anybody who sees it is going to have a different reaction and different personal
Yeah.
relationship with every single individual
Mm-hmm.
one of one. And I think now that
Yeah.
I just think of it, that's its own collection in itself. Like you have your collection, your own one of ones that you distribute, and then people see the one of ones differently, and they're like, "Oh, this means this to me, and this means that to me." And
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that's real interesting. Rather than like, and again, no disrespect to anybody who chooses this way, but rather than having 1,000 or 10,000 or 9,000 or 7,000 or 5,000 individually rendered images from different smaller created pieces like shoes, shirts, pants, and just randomly generated. These are individual
Mm-hmm.
one-on-ones in themselves that you created all of. So
Yeah.
everyone has their own interpretation, but you also have your own interpretation. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, if you were to pull up one of the pieces, I would tell you maybe what I was thinking when I was drawing it, but again, it doesn't matter.
is that what we're gonna do right now? I'm
What it
gonna
means
pull
to
up
you.
my creator die. And you're gonna tell me exactly what it means.
If you want.
I mean, I like what you said. I want to have my own personal relationship that I see when I look at my piece by you, and then you have your own personal relationship with it, and then.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think either what I see or what you see should influence each other's because
Yeah, exactly.
that's kind of like its own utility in a sense, right? And a lot of this NFT game or space, I should say, is wrapped up in like, oh, utility versus art
Yeah.
versus
I mean,
all of these things.
that's why I haven't put out a like a roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have a roadmap.
Mm.
Like, I have my personal roadmap.
Mm.
I'm not gonna post it though, like, because
Yeah.
I don't do roadmaps just because I see myself as an artist, and like, I'm not looking for the, I don't know, the route where it's, I'm doing this for the like the, I don't know, the technical side.
Mm.
You know, the technical side is like, yo, let's create all these different type of different images we can put together and make it, you know, just like a collection,
Yeah.
like, you know, those 10,000 whatever collections.
Mm.
Like, I don't know. I'm just, that's kind of why I don't have a roadmap. You know, I don't want to do any promises or stuff like that either. Just, I have a roadmap, but I'm not going to put it out there because I don't want to do any false promises or stuff like that. Like, I have a clear path I want to go,
Mm.
but you know, it could always change,
And it's personal.
and That's why I don't do those things where I promise things. You know, and it's, again, it's my art. Like, it's literally, I'm just an artist. I'm not like, I'm not a collection that is gonna be like, yo, you're gonna be part of this game. Like, there's no, for those, it's more of like profit to be made.
Mm.
Like, nobody wants to play. Sorry for collectors,
Yeah.
but nobody wants to play your stupid pixel game where they're jumping around. Like, yo, you just get a PS5 or something.
And it'd be cheaper.
Like, yeah, that's their utility. Like, yo, this is my game. Yo, my utility is just to inspire you a little bit,
Mm.
just to give you a piece of myself,
Mm.
and maybe something will come of it in the future.
Yeah, maybe. You see like that space on the wall right there? That's what utility is, you know?
Yeah.
Honestly, like if I can look at it every day and I like get happy, or if I get inspired, or like something you say like that, like that's utility to me. You know, like I think honestly, utility is it's really difficult to portray in a space where everybody is trying to do the same thing, in a space where everything moves really fast. You know, so it's like,
yeah,
and
yeah, obviously, like, I'm trying right now. Like, I'm working in the background.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take care of my creator die collection before I do anything else. Like, everybody that holds my creator die collection, I'm putting all my focus on just supporting those people. Like, I have other art, and you know, I even mentioned chapter 2, which is going to be the next segue. But I'm not even gonna like really touch into that because I just want to put all my focus into the first collection. You know, I just want to move slowly, make sure all the pieces are together.
Like you said, from an artist standpoint, they're like, there's no rush. Like if it's art, then art will be released when art is ready to the artist. You know?
Exactly.
And for everybody else, it's like everyone else has a different relationship to it, because it's kind of like, okay, even though it's individual art, as an NFT, it's being compared to like other NFTs, you know, and this goes for every project everywhere that's in this space, you know, and everyone's like, I need utility, I need community, and I need like the value of the art, right?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, how does one try to balance? I know we talked about utility, but how does one try to balance like community and also like the value of their art?
I think it's I don't know. I think it's just working on, I think, the community a little more, because with me, like, the art, it comes, like I said again, like it comes natural.
Yeah.
I can create the art. You know, it's in me. It's just the community. That's what you should focus on. Like, that's why some days I'm like, all right, like, I can be working on my own art, but today I'm gonna just do all these customs for everyone, because getting that response from people of saying, yo, this is dope, like, yo, you made my day, like, oh, this is dope, and then they put it as their profile picture. It's like, oh, dope. That's a way better feeling than like creating something for myself, and that's just like, I look at it and I'm like, well, dope. But then, like, you know, there's nobody else being like, whoa. So it's, and I guess it's like a cycle. You know, you focus on the community helps you out, and you get more eyes on your project too,
and your own,
it's a win-win.
Yep, your own personal brand starts to grow, your own collection starts to grow, you start to grow, the community starts to grow. It's just the collaboration, I feel like, is the gift that
Hmm.
keeps on giving.
Collaboration, the key.
Yeah, the gift that
That's what I
keeps on
realized.
giving. Remind me to send you my smiles after this.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
See, because I see you just every time someone sends you one of their smiles, I'm like, yo, that's like we said, it's a completely different piece that just
Yeah.
looks like, even though it wasn't an agreed upon collaboration between artists, it looks like you guys collaborated on it. It's like
Yeah.
you took what was already there and you just, like you said, you just put your own world into an already created space, and now it's kind of
Hmm.
like blended. I think that's really
Yeah.
dope.
You're getting like a piece of me
Mm-hmm.
at the very moment. You know, I could be in any mood. I can be like in a super great mood, or I could be like kind of in a low state.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, I'm gonna do it, and like my emotions will speak through the art.
Mm. It's kind of, now that I think about it, it kind of feels like almost like a cover. Like if a musician made like a cover to another song or something, it's like, okay,
Mm,
this is me putting me into this. Yes, it's still
yeah,
this, but now this is me too.
yeah.
That's what it feels like. That's what it
It's
feels
me and this
like.
now.
Now it's both of
Yeah.
them. I feel that, yeah. And like we kind of talked about earlier, like I feel like when people talk about crypto and specifically Ethereum, since most of the OpenSea network is on Ethereum blockchain, I feel like people forget about how much money they're talking about, because we kind of like talk about it in derivatives of Ethereum, right? Like
Hmm.
at the time we were talking like what it's like. I think it went down today, but I think the last time I checked that like 3,800 or something, right? But
I think so, probably.
something like, let's just say four
Yeah,
thousand, right? So like,
yeah, 4,000.
yeah. So if somebody like said, oh, like I just bought this piece for, I don't know, like 0.08 Ethereum or something like that, like
Hmm.
real specific. That's still kind of like $330 that somebody just like
Yeah,
paid you. It's like,
yeah.
it's,
It's kind of it's kind of crazy.
yeah.
Like I don't really. Sometimes there's been times I've spent a good amount.
Yeah.
Uh this one piece. I remember I spent like, to me at the time it was a lot. I mean, it probably still is.
Mm-hmm.
It was around like $1,200,
Mm-hmm.
and like it was just JPEG,
Yeah. That's
just JPEG, and like I wouldn't be so quick to pull the trigger on something here in the real life.
no.
You know, it'll take me some time
God,
to
no.
like buy something. But I was like, oh, 1,200,
Mm-hmm.
that's a steal. Bought it. It's
Exactly.
like, yo,
It's like
so you need some new furniture, Brandon. Uh, I
1,200.
can't afford it, bro.
I don't know. I don't know.
Twelve
What?
hundred? Wait till it goes on
Yeah,
sale.
Cool Cat just dropped. Somebody accidentally listed it. What? Oh no, that's a drop.
Oh,
Instant. Like we're not even thinking.
yeah,
Just out the
over
way.
my head.
And it's like, I feel like that's something that's unique almost to this community, where people are more willing to spend money in this digital world, in this digital space, than they are to spend in like the physical space,
Yeah,
right?
that's I. Every time I try to remind myself this, like before I go on Twitter, I'm like, all right, you're stepping into the metaverse right now, like a bit of the metaverse. Like,
Exactly.
just remember that, like when you're going in there, you're in a whole different world. You know, because I could be scrolling on there for hours.
Hours.
So you have to be able to differentiate this life and then also being in there
100%. 100%. I feel
to balance.
like the hours, because for me personally, when I'm on Twitter now, and Twitter, I think Twitter has the greatest algorithm of all the social networks. Maybe not TikTok, because I only went on TikTok like one time when I downloaded it. I was on that for like 4 hours straight. I had to get off. But Twitter's algorithm,
No,
yeah.
TikTok has their algorithm is really good.
But Twitter will like transform your whole timeline into like what you are now. Like I remember a few months ago I
Yeah,
got into
exactly.
NFTs, and now like I feel like everything I look at on Twitter is NFTs. And it's like somebody
Yeah,
shilling a
me
new
too.
project or like something this, and I'm like, oh, I'll just look at this new project, whatever. And I look at it, I'm
Hmm.
like, what? And I end up in like 10 discords. I'm like, wait, hold up. I don't need to be in Discord.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I look at my girlfriend's Twitter.
Yeah.
It does not look like. I'm like, whoa, what the? It's just
Yeah.
like regular tweets. I'm like, this is
Yeah, you
lame.
got words here? What?
Get off of it.
Like, where are your JPEGs? I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. Well, these people have regular profile
That's the
pictures.
thing, honestly.
If you're on the NFT Twitter, they're all JPEGs.
It's like, and that's something that's really unique too. It's like in this whole Web3 and DAO community space, a lot of the artists are not artists, or okay, they're artists,
Yeah,
but they're not viewed as people, right? Yes, everybody
yeah.
understands that there's a human behind this art and behind this community and behind like the logistics that goes into everything, but
Hmm.
a lot of the people don't know like who that person is, like, you
Yeah.
know.
That's why. That's why you see me post sometimes like on Twitter of like pictures of me
Mm-hmm.
because I want you to know like, yo,
I'm
this is
human.
me. I'm the one making the art. It's not like this little fox thing that's making the art. Like it's me. And
Yeah.
I realized that like artists that do pretty well are pretty transparent. So I want to be transparent because I want to be here in the long run.
Mm.
Like I want to do some things in my life. So just starting off and showing my face early on and building the trust, like knowing who I actually am. I think that's why I'd want to show who I am and wouldn't want to keep it that anonymous.
Mm.
That's why I'm here today.
That's why
Showing my
first
face.
public appearance now.
Yeah.
You know, and it's. I want to go back to one thing you just said because it just dawned on me. People, when they talk about ETH in different increments, it kind of like minimizes the value of like the actual like dollars that they're spending. But how does it
Mhm.
feel when somebody like throws $300 at you and says, "Yo, Nenji, I believe in you and your art."
It feels pretty good. Like seeing that OpenSea notification is like, wow. It's kind of like a small form of validation because I've been making art my whole life. I've tried a lot of things my whole life,
Mm-hmm.
not just art, and a lot of those things went to shit. And just like this isn't really a business venture for me
Mm-hmm.
either. Like it's just something I did naturally. And it's like, whoa, feels good.
Mm-hmm.
But um, like I also try to disconnect from like being kind of enthusiastic when that comes in because it's like it's just a part of it. And also like if I get too excited, it's kind of like you're on a like a fake cloud,
Yeah.
and then once the cloud goes away, then you're gonna hit rock bottom and just be kind of in a low place again. Because I used to be kind of a I still am, but I used to be like super optimistic person. But I noticed like my strength comes in balance when you can see things for how it is and also can be a little optimistic. So whenever I see things like that, it's like it's a good feeling, but at the same time, probably 5 minutes after that, I'm like, all right, just who cares? I got to get back to making the art. I got to get back to making these things for people. I'm at the end of the day, like, yeah, it's nice. Like, of course, like it's really nice getting that the OpenSea notification,
Mm-hmm.
but I got to get back into reality and be like, yo, these people believed in you, so you have to do something for them. Like that, $300. That's a lot. That's a lot. It's a like a nice chunk of somebody's paycheck. So I really appreciate when somebody does that. That's why I try and put like a lot of attention. That's why I think it's pretty cool that there's 101, only 101, because that's what I can manage right now. Like I've talked to a lot of collectors one on one, like you.
Mm.
I'm talking to you one on one. Like I've been able to DM a lot of collectors. I've sent people actual prints, like actual that people have collected my stuff.
Mm.
Like it's manageable right now. So and it's like it's building that personal relationship with them at the moment. Like that's what makes me kind of happy.
See, I mean, and that's again from an artist standpoint, even from a collector standpoint, even from somebody like myself who I like think of myself from like a third person, like just looking at me as a consumer, can, collecting something from your art, I think that's just dope from an artist standpoint. I think that having these platforms, even though people may like hate the platforms that do it and don't do it,
Hmm.
I think just that is
I,
dope.
I love it. I love the like this platform. I tell my friends this all the time. I say that this is probably the best time you can be, the best time to be an
Mm,
artist is now, because you have the NFT platform,
mm-hmm,
or you have NFT platforms like you have OpenSea, you have Foundation, you have Rarible.
mm-hmm,
You can find cool artists, and these artists may have been making art their whole lives, but maybe haven't gotten the return they deserve. And NFTs give them the opportunity. It gives them more of a chance to be who they actually want to be. Because, like for me, I still work a regular job,
mm-hmm,
but like I can see that like since I've been in this community more, I've been branching out to be more of like who I actually am.
mm-hmm,
Like there's more of a drive to be creative, because I'm like, okay, well, this is giving me a chance to actually show my art to way more people than I even planned for.
mm-hmm,
So I might as well just branch out and try different things. Be like who I want to be.
mm-hmm.
Kind of create, just keep creating like layers off layers.
Create or die.
This is the time to be an artist, because you can really thrive like in the NFT space. If you if you show that you really are there for the art and you're a real artist, you're working on the community, you don't rush things, and you're focused on your art and the people that support you. I think that's pretty important, and I don't think it's that difficult right now. Like I think it can get pretty technical, but the foundation is just create what you like. Um, I noticed from a collector's standpoint, because I've collected a few NFTs, I've noticed that I've only bought full collections, and like if I don't know why, but in my own head, if there's like 87, and then the description says there should be 100, then I don't really feel like buying it. I don't know why,
Uh,
but I like full collections. So those are the things I applied to my collection. I was like, before I even announce this, I want it to be complete. So 101 complete. Um, Taking care of the community, like that's another thing. So yeah.
I mean, like I said, I think just from an outside point of view, like all that, even though it doesn't sound real, or it sounds real technical, even though to you it's art, to me it's like the art of like creating the art, you know,
Mm,
and like the art around
yeah,
that too. I think
yeah.
that's that's beautiful to me. So I appreciate you from
I
an
think.
artist's perspective.
Thank you. I think it's having the balance of being able to create like an
Mm,
artist, but also being able to work with the technical stuff. So like, you know, you can be a complete artist.
mm-hmm,
I can draw on my iPad. I can make paintings all day, but you have to think like you have to think pretty technical sometimes. Like, wait, I have to like I'm gonna upload these, and but I have to upload them with a purpose.
yeah,
I say because a lot of times I say I don't work off passion.
mm-hmm,
I work off purpose. So and that kind of detaches me from my work.
mm-hmm,
So a lot of the times I'm creating something, and I'm like, well, I don't like it at all. But then right when I notice, because I built the awareness, right when I think that like I don't like this piece of art, that's when I'm like, all right, it's ready, and I put it out there. So I've detached from my work. I understand that it's subjective, and that's not it's not passion. Like if I was just working off passion, I'd just be putting out whatever.
mm-hmm,
And then since I'm working off purpose, like I think the function of this art is creating something that's meaningful, that will mean something to somebody in the future.
mm.
That's the purpose of the art. The passion is just me throwing out whatever works. But purpose, it gives me a whole different thing. Purpose gives me the reality, seeing the reality of what I want for my collection and what I want for my art. It's a lot of like learning I've had to do, like as an artist and as a person, like detachment from my work, because I can judge my work a lot. I can judge my work. I judge my work all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All the art you've seen, I've never thought I liked. Actually, no, I shouldn't say that. There's been a few pieces I was like, damn, this is dope. I'll put it out. But a lot of the pieces, I was like, I don't like this. But it doesn't really, like I said before, it doesn't matter what I think. Art is subjective. It matters what my collectors or what my audience sees. Like that's what matters. My opinion doesn't matter. Seeing it from a whole like detached perspective, I think that's what's helped me. Like my whole life, like not even towards art, just like in my life in general. Like doing this interview, like I don't know, I was kind of nervous, but nervous is just an emotion. Like I want to keep moving forward. That's the reality. I want to keep moving forward, so I should do it. That's the reality. Like you're not working off emotion. I'm just working off what should be done. Purpose.
I think I told you off screen that I was thinking of getting into this project like a week before I actually did, right? And I was like, I was trying to find ones that I liked, and I was like, my favorite number personally is 33, right? So the first time I went to look at this collection, I was like, the first one I look at, I'm not even a big like numerology fan or anything. I just really like the number 33. So I go to look at number 33. I think at the time there were 8 collectors, and 33 was already gone. Right, so I'm like, okay, what is my luck? One out of that.
I know who took 33 too, because that person's really into numbers. They're like, yo, I bought, I forgot what the numbers, but it's like 11, 33, all the numeric numbers.
Okay,
like,
I'm coming for their head, by the way. I'm coming for that 33. I'm coming for it. Right, but then
get it one day.
And then I looked to the one next to it, right, and it kind of relates to what you were saying, number 34. And this is when we were talking about it, kind of like sprung up in my head. It says, balance is everything. Right. And that's the name of the 34th piece of this collection. And I was like, that is the next one I want to buy. Number 34. Balance is everything, Mm-hmm. And of course, you know what happened. Somebody comes up, but that's besides the point. I'd like to thank you again personally for coming on, doing this interview, sharing your perspective. I only got one last question for you. All right.
Cool.
This is the overarching question I was kind of referring to earlier. When it's all said and done, what do you want to be remembered by when you leave this earth?
It's kind of selfish. Like I kind of just want to create because I know that I'm gonna die. Like what's the point of creating boundaries and being somebody that you don't want to be? Like might as well be who you want to be, and by doing that I feel like you'll naturally leave some footprint. But like I said, like nobody's gonna really care. That's kind of why I've became more of an artist too, because I realized, wait, nobody even cares. Like I can be whoever I want. They're gonna maybe judge you, but like who cares? You're gonna die. Like we're all gonna die. Like might as well be who you want to be today, because we're all gonna die. Like, and maybe that's come by like past experience, but I just know like what's the worst that can happen if you become yourself? Like might as well be who you, or try and be who you want to be, and do it like with 100% effort to be who you want to be, because if you don't, you're going to be at the end of your life and be like, damn, I didn't do it. And like we only have this life, so it doesn't really make sense. Well, to me right now, I think, or what makes sense right now is we only have this one life. So it doesn't make sense to not be who you don't want to be if you have one life. It's like saying like you have one canvas, and like you have to stay in the lines and do whatever you want. or you can do whatever you want on this canvas and you can make it as cool as you want. You can try different things, you can try different colors. Like that's kind of how I see my life. And like even if shit goes to the like even if everything goes to shit, like it doesn't matter. Like I'm trying.
Mm.
Like I'm trying to be who I want to be. Like only life. This is the only life. Gonna die. So
Create and
that ties back to my create or die
Yep.
collection. Like it's not really that dark, but I think about death a lot.
Mm.
But it's not like that. Like I'm pretty like lively person.
Yeah, I get that though, because at the end, it's like I like to think of life kind of like backwards. Like, what do I want to be remembered as? And just kind of like eventually get to the point where like I'm sitting here with you today. Like, if you really go from the end and like start backwards, it's like it's not dark to me because it's perspective. It's just overarching perspective.
Exactly.
That's all it is. So I'd like to thank you for a 15,000th time for coming on this platform. It's probably
Thank you.
Yeah, this might be one of the only times I get to say this, but go ahead and show yourself. You earned it.
Okay, so you can find me on Twitter, Menji. It's actually spelled M33NJI on Twitter. You can also find me on Instagram if you want, but I don't really post a lot of stuff on there.
Mhm.
But if you want to see what I look like, go ahead. It's Brandon dot MENJIV. That's my real name, Brandon. But you know, my artist name is Menji, so that's where my art is right now on Twitter. But eventually, I'll be having a website. But everything's on Twitter right now. So
Everything's on Twitter. Check out Menji. Coming big things for 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Big things. So that being said, I'd like to thank everybody who listened or watched or somehow consumed or collected. I don't know, maybe this podcast will one day become an NFT in itself. That'd be kind of that'd be a large file now you think about it, but I mean that'd be cool in itself. But I'd like to thank everybody again for consuming some part of this. Any last words you want to say?
That's it. Thanks for having me.
Create or die. Create or die. We'll leave it like
create
that.
or die.
All right.
It's true. Either create or die.